Greetings and bienvenue, Midnight Crew. Thank you for returning to this broadcast. And welcome to new viewers joining us for the first time. If you like a video, then feel free to subscribe.
Not the best story, but it freaked me out as a kid. Be me, probably 10 years old. Be with my brother and a friend. We were little kids with not much to do but go play outside. A KA break sticks off of trees and have sword fights or ride our bikes, etc. One day we had the idea to build a cave bunker in one of the hills past my home, about a half-mile or so. It's the beginning of summer, so nightfall doesn't happen until about 8 to 8:30. We're out there digging for hours upon hours, and my brother, friend, and I decided to head back home to get something to drink. On the way back, I look at my friend and he's just got the most serious face, and he stops walking. I ask him, "What's wrong? Are you okay?" He just points off to about 100 yards away and says, "Look." At first I don't notice anything, and my brother says, "Oh my God, we need to run home, right now." All of a sudden we're running, and I still have no clue what for. Me, being a stupid-ass kid, thought, they're probably just doing this to try and scare me. I decided to quit running and say, "You're just jerks, I'm gonna walk back." They both scream at me to turn around, so I do. About only 30 to 40 yards away is this big burned-skinned animal thing. The only way I can really describe it is by saying it had human arms, human legs, no genitals, and was running at us on both 2 feet and 4 feet. Just switching to whichever was easiest, running up and down the hills. I freak out and sprint my ass down the last hill to my house. We all start telling my parents, and they just get a worried look and tell us we can't play outside anymore today. My dad grabs his rifle and pistol and heads out to the field, but he tells us he saw nothing. To this day, I firmly believe it was a demon. The reason why is another story, though. Care to hear? So the reason I thought that thing was a demon later on in life. Be me. Be about 14. It's late at night, probably 12:30 a.m. to 1 a.m. Not too much going on. I just go upstairs to get something to drink or some food. I walk back down the hallway to head downstairs. I hear someone whisper. It sounded like my name. I wasn't paranoid about it. I walked over to my mother's room, and she was asleep. I looked upstairs to my dad's and brother's room. I lived in a 3-story house, and all the lights were off. I slightly feel uneasiness come over me. The feeling gets worse and worse by the second. My stomach starts really hurting, and I go to the living room. I sit down and relax. The feeling goes away. I don't know why I was so naive, but I just brushed it off as I must be getting a cold or flu. I walk into the computer room and start browsing the internet. All of a sudden, I feel like shit again, but in a different way. The room starts to spin and I start to really freak out. I feel like I'm being watched. I turn around from my computer and I'm staring, no shit, about 5 to 7 feet away at a rather bright gas just floating in the doorway. I stare at it for a good 10 seconds. I got a really good look at it. Then it flew straight at me. It flew right in front of me and then straight up. And when it started to fly straight up, I felt a huge pressure on my head and I slammed my head into the table. After that panic, I run downstairs to my room and lock the door. It's all good from then on, until a couple of days after.
So you stared at it after turning around from your computer, but then had your head slammed into the table.
Yeah, I was sitting in a swivel chair and I hit the left side of my head because I was sitting sideways from the door, but looking straight at the door. Basically, body is facing forward, head is facing to the right, Then this force came over me, and my head swung down onto the table. A few days pass and my dad and mom are both working late at night. My mom owned a catering business and was catering a wedding out at a resort. She said they wouldn't be home until about 12 to 1 a.m. My brother works the graveyard shift at a shit job. I'm all alone. I decided to go into the living room to play video games. The TV won't turn on. What the fuck? Is the remote dead? I push the power button 1,000 times. The TV turns on to static, which really wouldn't have mattered to me at the time, except all of the power in the house turned off and back on again, just in a few short seconds. That alone just freaked me out enough. I decide to go upstairs and find my dad's pistol, just to make myself feel safer. As soon as I get to the top of the stairs, I heard this loud thumping, like someone with boots was stomping up the stairs just behind me. I turn around to slam the door, and I see nothing. But the sound is so intense it's shaking pictures on the walls. I freak out, for God's sake. I still get the same sick feelings that I felt then when I talk about it. I call a feminine friend of mine who believed in spirits and demons. She told me to find a white candle and sage and some other shit and burn them in my house. I don't. I'm not going downstairs. I waited out until my parents come home. They come in, and the hallway's paintings and pictures are all on the ground. Hey Anon, why are all of our pictures on the ground? Guys, there's a ghost in the house, I swear to God. My dad and brother don't believe in ghosts. I confronted my brother right then and there about the burned-skinned demon thing. He doesn't say anything and goes to his room. My mom says she believes me and wants to talk to me about it tomorrow, when it's not so early. My mom talks to me the next day. She knows a Wicca who apparently has a special talent at trapping bad spirits and letting peaceful spirits be. My mom invites her up to our place, and the Wicca pulls out this off-white colored crystal. She sits with me and my mom and tries to ask the crystal questions. Me, being an edgy 14-year-old, was like, "What are we even doing?" Then she asks the crystal, "Did you used to live on this land?" And no shit, without her even moving a muscle, the crystal rose above her hand and stayed there for a few seconds before falling. She continues to ask it questions. If it rose, it meant yes. If it did nothing, then it meant no. She asked it if it was related to our family. It didn't move. She asked it if it was raised from the sun. It didn't move. She asked it if it was raised from the moon, and it rose again. Apparently, when you ask crystals, Ouija boards, basically things to communicate with spirits, if it's from the sun or the moon, it usually dictates whether the spirit is good or not. Not a good spirit. Then all of a sudden, everything just got extremely tense in the room. I asked the Wicca if she could feel that. She didn't answer me. She said she had to go outside, and it is of dire importance that I do not follow her. I go downstairs to my room. About a half hour later, she returns. She tells me, "I went out to the fields beyond your house and tried to communicate with the spirit, and I feel you should know that it was a poltergeist caused by a demon. I have planted 3 crystals in a triangle surrounding your land. You must never search for these crystals or dig them up. They hold the power that the demon used to gain access to our astral plane. Please let me know if anything happens from now on. Be me now, 18, still living in the same home. I haven't noticed very much, and all other things that happen are very small things that can easily be brushed off, like hearing a noise here and there, or seeing something out of the corner of my eye.
I've got one. Be in middle school age, maybe 6th or 7th grade, hanging out with a buddy. His family has a pretty successful home business. Because of such business, they often have to leave to go do their work. They spoil their kid rotten with toys and video games, so it's all cool. They ask us to burn all the garbage in a steel drum out back. It was pretty fun. We pretended the fire was alive and we were firebenders and shit. We let the fire go out eventually, hours later, at midnight. His parents are still gone. We are awake, and I notice something outside. The steel drum has a roaring fire in it. What the fuck? We grabbed kunai and shuriken he got from trueswords.com. We were really fucking weebs, so please, no hate. We walk out there carefully. We call out to see if anyone is there. No answer. We walk up to the fire. We hear twigs snapping and some sort of footsteps running away across the small creek near his house. Oh shit, what the fuck? We go back inside and just let whatever was in the drum burn out. Maybe not paranormal, but it was some freaky shit. Especially since we burned every piece of garbage we could find, and there was nothing else to burn.
Mine aren't too crazy or anything, just shit I can't really explain. Be me, probably around 11 or 12 years old. Camping at the same campground that my family has stayed at for 35 plus years now. I'm in California. First time camping outside though. We usually stayed in cabins. I brought my friend Anon to stay with me, and we crashed in a tent instead of staying with my parents. We do the usual camping bullshit. Stay up late after the fire's over and talk about random stuff, like usual. We probably drift off around midnight. Flash forward like 2 hours. Me and Anon wake up at the exact same time, hearing what sounds like gunfire in the distance. People fire guns here all the time, just usually only during the day. I think me and Anon tried to dismiss it as someone scaring off a bear or something at first. No sooner had we said that, we heard screaming. Not just one person screaming. It sounded like dozens of people screaming. We can still hear the gunfire overlaying the screams every couple of seconds or so. This goes on for 10 plus minutes. We are scared shitless and kinda just lay there motionless till we drift off. Wake up the next day. Both of us immediately remember. That wasn't a dream. We both had it. My family heard nothing. They dismiss it as nothing but us being young and stupid. It was pretty real to me. I have a few more. Let me know if you'd like to hear them. Next one's with the same friend. Me and Anon, now both around 16, are heading to Anon's house after a long day of playing video games at my house. It's late on a Saturday night, and no one is supposed to be home at Anon's house. His parents are out of town, and his brother is gone. We walk up to his door, and as usual when we get there, his dogs all go apeshit. But with the barking, we hear someone doing like a mocking, deep-voiced dog noise, kinda like they were antagonizing the dogs. Still outside, I rather loudly say, "What the fuck?" Out of nowhere, it seems like the person inside has heard me. We hear loud footsteps quickly leave the door towards the back of the house. By the time we open the door, all the lights are on in his house, unusual, and his dogs are scared shitless. We search the house and discover his back door is ajar. No footprints, nothing missing. Everything is quiet. He had an abandoned lot on the other side of his fence, and anyone or anything could have come through it to get in. We booked it too, electric boogalooed to my house after locking up, both kinda shaken. I have one more to share. Me and my girlfriend, 22 and 21, take off to my family's cabin. It's pretty close to the campgrounds from the first story, maybe 2 miles away. The cabins are on a circle. Our street leads nowhere once you get on it from the main road. It's the first winter we've had the cabin. We just bought it around August. It's close to Christmas, and the snow is patchy at best. As far as I can tell from walking around, we are the only people on the circle this weekend. We spent the first afternoon relaxing, chilling outside in the snow, taking pictures. It's evening now, and the sun is going down. My girlfriend smoked cigarettes, so she went out on the porch for a few minutes. She comes in 5 minutes later, crying. When I ask her what's wrong, she tells me she can hear someone crying for help, like they aren't too far away. Curious, I step outside and close the door. It's very quiet, but after a few seconds, I hear someone distantly crying for help. I yell, "Hello!" back at the top of my lungs and wait. No response. Everything around is still dark and still. I tell my girlfriend it's probably someone on the main road with a flat or something, and that they will be fine. She continues smoking, and I head inside. She comes back in crying again, saying it's worse this time. Sure enough, when I step outside, I hear it again. This time it was much more desperate. "Please help." This time I gear up. I head downstairs and out the front door with my flashlight and head towards the main road. I get farther down and yell, "Hello," again. Nothing. I decide I'll walk the circle and see if someone is there. Maybe someone fell outside their cabin. Lots of old people live on the circle part of the year. I get to the opposite end of the street and yell again. This time, with a response. The yell has no direction, like before. It sounds like it's far off but all around me. It continues for a minute and then stops. Instinct kicks in, and I nope out of there, scanning everything around me with the flashlight the whole way back. My girlfriend asks what I heard or found. I tell her nothing and play it off.
Be me. Be roughly 5 or 6. Living in Birmingham. Projects. I slept in a room that was positioned right beside the front door. Lights from the street always poured into my window. The window had a fairly translucent black sheet over it. It was pretty normal to watch people walk by. They're out on the street. No big deal. It's a summer night. I have my window up. The only thing between me and the outside world is the screen on the window. I'm just watching outside, trying to fall asleep, watching people walk by. I see a huge figure past my window. I jumped out of bed. That figure wasn't supposed to be that big unless it was walking directly beside my window. Mind you, we had about 5 to 6 yards between our house and the sidewalk. I'm freaked out and run into the living room where my mom is sleeping. I drag her into my room. I didn't look at the window despite hearing a strange noise. I looked first just at my mom's face. She just stared. I look over. The giant figure is now next to my window. His arm is through the screen. He has a knife in his hand. He's stabbing air. Needless to say, we called the cops after we saw that. They came and didn't do shit. We moved out of there 2 days later.
Be stupid high school self hanging out with stupid high school friends doing stupid high school shit. Bored. Everybody crams into one car and we go for a ride through the countryside. Rural US. We come across a half-burned down house. Damn right we're exploring that. It's thickly overgrown. The second story had collapsed. The floor was falling through, and the basement was full of ash. We walk in through a hole in the side wall and wander about. There's a video camera bag sitting on the floor near the front door. Nothing inside but a single tape. What could possibly go wrong? My friend's mom has one of those VHS converters for old handheld camera tapes. We all gather around the TV expectantly. Lots of static and random visual noise. Suddenly it focuses in. The camera is on the floor, about where the camera bag was, facing a wall. More visual noise. Then a male voice shouts something violent. A female voice screams from what sounded like the basement. Loud, distraught, and penetrating screams. The screaming continues for 2 or 3 minutes until someone apparently picks up the camera and stops the recording. Oh shit, Scoobs. We take the tape to the police. When they try to view it, the tape is blank. They get pissed because they think we're screwing with them. The fuckers won't even go search the house. The next day, we reassembled and hit up the house again. So much has collapsed that the only way into the basement is a back window. I, being the smallest, volunteered to slip through. A lot of it was caved in and impossible to pass, and even in the daytime it was almost pitch black. But I managed to find the camera lying on the ground. As soon as I touch it, something large clambers around in the darkness, and shortly after, I hear some of the ceiling come down. I tear ass up to the window and practically launch myself through. I gouge the shit out of my arm and have to go to the hospital for a tetanus shot. I didn't even get the camera. We came back one more time, a month or so later, and the whole structure had come down.
This happened about 2 weeks ago. Maybe not the creepiest ever, but the one most fresh in my memory. Be on my computer at 12:30-ish at night messaging my girlfriend, doing not much in particular. My parents have gone to bed. So what? I'm 23 and I still live with my parents. I figure I'll go to sleep too. It's cold as fuck that night. I make triple sure that every window is closed, because if even one is open, it makes the whole house freezing in the morning. I say good night to my parents, but they're already fast asleep and snoring. I hop into bed and continue messaging my girlfriend. It's 1:15 a.m., and I hear a door slam in the house. What the fuck? It is not windy at all, and I closed every single window. Are you fucking with me? I open my bedroom door and listen for wind. No wind in the house. Absolutely silent. Suddenly, 2 footsteps and another door slam. Fuck! Nope, 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 no! No pity, nope. I shut the door fast and air dive for bed, pulling the covers over my head. Doors continue slamming in the house. Way more slams than there are doors. Our doors are the kind that when they slam closed, they don't come open again until you go and physically turn the handle and open it. It lasts for like 10 minutes, and I end up falling asleep soon after. Morning time. I ask my parents what the hell they were doing last night and why they needed to slam every goddamn door in the house. They have absolutely no idea what I was talking about. My dad sleeps with earplugs, and my mom is sort of a deep sleeper. It still should have woken her up, though. I'm freaked out and went and bought a good knife, a baseball bat, and a lock for my door that afternoon.
Not much in my life has made me nope, and I am a massive skeptic in daylight hours, even if sometimes things creep me out and my imagination gets to me. Anyway, mine involve nighttime things, the first of which is likely attributable to the first case of sleep paralysis I remember having. It happened around a year ago, when I was 19. I'm sleeping at the family home, as I am back from university for a holiday. I'm a Scot in an old town, so the one-story semi-detached we live in is an old house, likely Edwardian in its time of being built. but not the Edwardian style of great houses that comes to mind. Just an old house near the edge of a small farming town, split into two semis. I always had the idea that something else was around the house as a kid. I still don't like being alone or in the dark in that house. I'm asleep one night. I wake up, lying on my back, facing the roof and the opposite wall due to pillows. One arm is on top of the covers. Everything should be pitch black at this hour. No lights around here. Everything is instead in a grayed out black and white. Think an old black and white TV showing a dark room, but far less grainy. The sound of howling wind fills my ears, like there's some kind of tornado going on in my room, though nothing is moving. I can't move anything past my eyes. I sense something watching me, maliciously, from the corner of my room by the door. That corner seems darker than the rest. Suddenly I see or sense it move towards me. I sense it's rushing, but the shadow seems to move slowly towards me. I'm freaking out. My heart is gripped by ice, terrified. The shadow is about to reach me. I finally manage to move my uncovered hand to the side and press it into my sleeping cat lying next to my thigh. I woke up. The shadow is gone. The room is normal. The howling wind sound abruptly stopped. My cat looks at me for a moment before cuddling into me. The next one was a few weeks later. The previous experience was still at the back of my mind. My eyes open in the middle of the night. The sound of howling winds is screaming in my ears again. I'm in the living room, my back to the wall, by the door in the corner of the room. Everything is in grayscale again. To my left, there are stark shadows cast against the wall from the window. My eyes are immediately drawn to the fireplace on the far side of the room. It's darker there. I feel that same shadow there. Suddenly, my ankle is gripped. I'm dragged suddenly towards the fireplace as the shadow darkens everything. I wake up in a cold sweat in my bed. Scariest thing that has ever happened to me. Paranormal shit doesn't come my way much.
Years ago, at least 2002 probably, my aunt and uncle built a large addition on their home. They added a large amount of space both upstairs and downstairs. Before the addition, going up the stairs led to a small landing with a bedroom to your left and right, and a bathroom straight ahead. After the addition, the bedroom to the left and the bathroom were the same, but to the right became a hallway leading to more rooms. They had hired a guy named Brian, who the family knew, to help out. Not long after they were done, my family went to visit to see it. We lived down the street anyway, so we were there a lot anyway. I was maybe 10 or 11. I thought that Brian had been there while we were there, so when I didn't see him in the living room where everyone else was, I went to look for him. At the bottom of the stairs, which went up from a different room at the front of the house, I looked up and yelled his name. It was dark, but I swear I saw a human walk out of the bedroom on the left and into the hallway that was now on the right. I ran back into the living room where everyone else was still to say, I thought Brian was trying to scare me. Everyone just assured me that Brian hadn't been there. I don't know what I saw, but even nowadays when I visit there, I stay away from the upstairs unless other people are up there as well.
Be me. Probably like 19 at the time, as I had just become a licensed contractor. My grandparents' cabin is at this place called Bernie Falls, middle of nowhere between Northern California and Oregon, and they're the only cabin on the road. I head out alone to fix some warped interior doors. Lots of inside work. After the first day, while I'm grilling outside, I keep hearing shit just past the tree line moving around. I'm cooking, so I assume animals. I go to bed without giving it another thought. Next morning, early, as I want to finish working and head home, I take the trash the quarter-mile down to the road to the bear-proof bins around 6 a.m. After putting the trash in, I see what could only be a bear laying down in the field across the street. It's huge, brown and shaggy, and I think, oh God, please don't hear me. As I start backing away towards the cabin, it hears me and stands up, but not like a bear would. It puts one humanoid hand on its knee and pushes itself up while turning to look at me. We make eye contact, and my heart stops. It's got an ape-like face, is way taller than me, and is staring me down. I'm now aware of how quiet it is, and how alone I am. I break eye contact and run. I make it all the way back to the cabin and lock myself in, scared shitless. I didn't leave for another day. I heard shit the rest of the afternoon and night outside. I'm still always afraid to head back.
Be me during the winter of 2012. I start making dinner around 7 p.m. and quickly realize I'm out of olive oil. Since it's winter, it's already dark at this time, which is important. I grab my wallet and my cell phone and head to the grocery store. The store is about 5 miles away from my apartment, so it seems like the trip there took me maybe 15 minutes to get to the store. I get out of the car and notice it's considerably colder, but it's winter in the Midwest. That happens. I grab the olive oil and check out while noticing there aren't that many people in the grocery store or the buffet or deli for it being around dinner time. I get back to my apartment and turn on the TV. I notice Jimmy Kimmel is on, which is weird because it shouldn't be coming on for a few hours. I check the time on my phone. It's 11:15 p.m. I check the time on my receipt. It says I checked out at 10:51 p.m. I realize my 5-mile drive to the grocery store took me 3.5 hours. To this day, I have no idea what happened. I know for a fact that I left the house around 7 p.m. because I texted a friend right before I left and had gotten home from work an hour before that. My car was fine, and nothing was missing besides those 3.5 hours. I wasn't on any medication or under any unusual amount of stress either. I can't explain it.
Be me. I'm 17 at the time. My friend is 16. I'm on probation for getting high entirely too much. My friend enjoys getting ripped, but not too often. We attain a large amount of alcohol and went to pick up our friend who is named Anon. The alcohol is in the trunk. We haven't had a chance to unload yet. Anon's parents are uber Catholic and hate us, so we have to park in this abandoned lot a couple blocks away from his house. Anon insists on it, though it is completely irrational. We're in a car, mate. We park in the lot and wait for about 15 minutes. Where the fuck is Anon? Anon has to take his sister somewhere. Anon is lazy, so he's going to be another 10 minutes or so. We're waiting in this parking lot, and I'm noping the fuck out because I'm out past curfew and there's alcohol in the trunk. I had 6 months in jail over my head at the time. Just when I'm starting to calm down, another car pulls into the lot. Topography of the lot. It's huge and flanked on 3 sides by dense woods. The 4th side has a highway on it. The car pulls in about 10 feet away from us. It's black, looks like a Pontiac. I'm pretty fucking terrified, but not shitting my pants. The car turns off and turns all lights off. Me and my friend sit in total silence for about 10 seconds. What the fuck wafts silently through the air? Me, being the dumbass I was at that point, decided it's probably a concerned citizen. We do look pretty sketchy out here, so I zip up in a hoodie trying to make my identity as concealed as possible. I walk towards the car and stop outside the driver's side window for like 6 seconds. Nothing happens. So I knock on the window. The window rolls down, I shit you not. It was dark and the car was darker, but I gave my eyes time to adjust. The car was empty. The car was fucking empty. Heart-dropping 20,000 leagues.png. I book it back to my friend's car and tell him to book it. The mystery car stays where it is and does nothing. We tell Anon to fuck off and that we're going home. He can find his own way.
I hope that you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. If you enjoyed tonight's story, then please subscribe to the channel as more Greentext will appear daily. A new broadcast will appear when the clock strikes midnight Central Time.